Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Fifer, served up by Wendy's on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan. Download the Wendy's app today.
It is time again to broadcast live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. They do this Tavern of the Game on the Brewers games. The one that just came up was Stars and Strikes in Princeton. It's a bowling alley bar. I swear to you, Charlie, every time I walk by that place, I think it's closed. Every time. Now, again, it's always like on a Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, right? But from the looks of it from the outside, you always think it's closed. But it's definitely open, and it's pretty cool that some place that actually go to in the middle of nowhere actually just won Tavern of the Game. Pretty cool. Okay, coming up now, it is time for everybody's favorite segment.
It's time for your green and gold update on Wisconsin Sports Daily, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan with Steve Sparky Fifer.
All right, let's get to our green and gold update. Joining us now on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law, Easton Butler, writer for the Packer Report. Follow him on Twitter at Easton_Butler. See his backward hat wearing self right now on YouTube. Search The Fan Milwaukee. That is like your trademark, the backwards hat, right? That's kind of your thing?
Yeah, I've been wearing hats backwards for years now. It was weird. It always happened when I was like at sporting events, and it just cut out like the smallest bit, but I hated that, so I just started wearing it backwards, and it's comfortable.
Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, so let's talk about you. Let's talk about Easton Butler. Let's talk about how you kind of grew your brand, I guess, and with Packer Report. Talk about how this whole thing is kind of played out for you personally.
So I actually started on Instagram years ago. I want to say 5 years ago, just doing it. I did with a friend. We did it as a bet to see who could grow faster, grow quicker, and I just kept it going. And eventually, I decided to go to Twitter. And initially, I made my Twitter just so I could speak like personal thoughts and whatever people do. And then I just started posting Packer stuff, and I'm like, oh, this is
on Instagram. Wait, stop, rewind. Hold on. What's on Instagram then? It's not like your Twitter account. It's something different.
So it actually is. It's very similar. The Instagram, it's more the Packer news, more the bigger stuff. And then I post like fun facts. And as of now, I'm just copying and pasting what I post on Twitter to Instagram, and Instagram to Twitter. So
okay, sounds good. Now it's all kind of the same thing.
Oh yeah, yep. Now it's all kind of the same thing. But Twitter, I just started posting, football news, Packer news, and former Packer news, which it feels like everyone needs their own little niche. And I, for some reason, am really good at remembering like former Packers. And I started incorporating that a lot into Twitter. That's why you'll see me post like the Ravens signing Cornelius Johnson or Colts working out Jamal Williams. So
sure, right, yep, I saw that. The other thing you're really good at is getting information from inside the offices of the Green Bay Packers. I mean, you kind of buried the lead here. And how long or how did this come to be to establish those connections? Because you're right more than you're wrong. That's for certain.
It definitely takes time. I did spend the last few years at Lambeau for training camp and stuff, just hanging out there, having a ton of friends. And then it just grew into me talking to more people personally and just kind of pushing for as much info as I could without it being over too much.
Sure.
And eventually it's, just eventually found a few people to help. So.
Yeah, no doubt. Easton Butler, writer for Packer Report. Follow him on Twitter at Easton_Butler. He joins us here on the Fan Guest Line, powered by Gruber Law. Steve Sparky Fifer with you. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's here on the Fan. Okay, so let's talk about the latest one that you had last night, and that is Romeo Doubs and apparently a couple trade offers sitting on the table of Brian Gutekunst.
Yeah, so initially, I've known about this for a while. I didn't want to say anything, and then on Instagram last night, I accidentally let it like slip. I'm like, oh shoot, well, I might as well tell it to more people. So I know there are several teams that have an offer. Green Bay isn't entertaining them at this moment, but it's like a weird situation. I think they're waiting for Christian Watson to see how his recovery is before they start entertaining the offers seriously. Several have tried. I know the 49ers tried before they signed Kendrick Bourne and MVS, who are both on their 53 now. They did have an offer, but Green Bay did not take that.
Okay, so let's talk about it from this perspective. Why Dobbs? I mean, are we thinking the other teams view him as their best receiver currently on this roster? Do they view Dobbs as the gettable piece because of what happened last year and missing practice and all the drama that came with that? Why do they think Dobbs is gettable? Because there must be a sense out there if multiple teams are trying to get him.
Well, a lot of it happened at the draft. The second we got Matthew Golden on the first and Savion later, it kind of made our receivers expendable. It typically happens to every team in the league, especially when a player's on their contract year. I mean, Romeo Dobbs last year's contract, more than likely he won't be coming back next year to Green Bay. Whether that's, his personal choice or however much he wants, especially after trading for Micah Parsons, we are going to be a little tight on cash and we will not be able to afford to pay him.
Yeah, but wait a second. Hold on. I mean, this isn't Stephon Diggs. This isn't somebody in their prime that's a dominant one. I mean, there was a piece today in the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel by Tom Silverstein talking about the fact that nobody on this team's probably catching 90 balls this year because there's just too many guys, and you're doing it right now with, Savion Williams still isn't up to speed. You still don't have Christian Watson like you talked about. Now, yes, Dobbs is still going to keep his name out there and be in the mix, but he's never going to get number one type targets. So I'm not quite sure the money that he's going to get, but I would be shocked if it's number one type money.
It definitely won't be like number one type money like everyone thinks. But with Christian making 13.25 next year,
yeah.
There are teams who would be willing to pay him around that, if not a little bit more. But one thing that really intrigues him is that he is still very young and he's not ran through like a ton of other guys are. Like, he's not constantly playing. He is sharing snaps with
That's
a ton
because
of
he's
receivers.
had concussions. That's why he's not constantly playing. That doesn't help either when you start talking about negotiating a new deal, Easton.
Oh, I know. I get that. I fully get that. But there are still teams that are willing to look past that.
And that means we're in desperation times. And clearly the Niners are one of those desperate teams. But whose fault is that? I mean, Deebo Samuel deal, that was all them, right? Ayuk has been banged up and dinged up, so they've been having to deal without him. And then their tight end gets hurt with George Kittle, and now he's out for several weeks. Again, an older player that's coming to that end. They're the ones that chose to go in the direction they did in the draft and free agency. So they kind of got themselves in that hole at this point. And now desperate times come to desperate measures. Charlie and I have talked about this in the past with Romeo Dobbs. Somebody gives me a day 2 pick, he's gone. Like I don't think twice about it if it's a day 2 pick. I don't know if Jordan Love would like this, Easton, but I think I would do it.
I mean, people got to remember that Brian Gutekunst is doing it what's best for business, and he did lose 2 first-round picks. He does love his picks. I mean, his first year, he did trade away HaHa Clandix for a 4th-round pick when he was on a rookie contract on the final year of his deal, and he was a fan favorite.
Let's talk about numbers. You said Romeo Dobbs, $13 million, would probably be somewhere in that area. Christian Watson right now, this is Spot Track, 29th in the NFL at $13.25 million. Let's see here. Here in that's contract average right now. Let's see if we go to 2026 and see what this looks like here as well. Because my thing on all of this is, does it make sense compared to the contracts that are around him at that moment in time? And if you look at the numbers around him, Darnell Mooney of the Falcons averages $13 million, Rashad Bateman, Darius Slayton, Khalil Shakir, Cooper Kupp, Jerry Jeudy, Deebo Samuel is all the way up to $17 million. Judy's at $17.5. Cooper Kupp is $15 million. So $13 million is Shakir, Watson, Mooney, Rashad Bateman, Darius Slayton. Does Romeo Dobbs have a case to be put into that category?
I could put him into that category. I could put him at like the top echelon of that category. He does, when he is playing without the concussions, he is very productive, and that's, Green Bay loves him obviously because of that.
Talking with Easton Butler, writer for Packer Report. Follow him on Twitter at Easton_Butler. So we talk about Romeo Doubs trade offers being out there. Do we think the Packers will be any more active than they already have been as far as trying to maybe find one more piece here between now and the trade deadline? Obviously, the trade deadline in the NFL is rather boring. Normally nothing ever happens, but could there be on the look maybe for a cornerback at some point?
I don't want to say too much, but they currently are looking.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I don't want to name drop anybody, but they currently are calling.
Is it a deal where it kind of feels like, listen, if we made this deal for Micah Parsons, we kind of be stupid not to push all the chips in now and get whatever we think is missing to try and win this thing here in the next couple of years?
Absolutely. It's definitely smart to. I know it sounds bad for the future, but look what the Rams did. The Rams pushed all their chips into 1 year, and it worked perfect. They ended up with the Super Bowl. That's all Green Bay needs right now. While they still have their guys who are young, they can still be productive in the future. This would be like the window this year and next year, I believe.
Easton, thanks so much for coming on. Quickly get your predictions. Packers, Commanders tomorrow night. We'll have the Green Bay football postgame show. Ryan Wood will join us as well after the game tomorrow night here on The Fan. What are you thinking for this one?
I think, honestly, I feel like this could be a trap game. I can see not Carolina. I can see the Commanders coming out with a win, but I fully expect Green Bay to completely dominate, especially on the defensive front.
Easton, it can't be a trap game with the crappy Browns after this. It can't be a trap game. Come on. No.
Anything's possible.
Oh, my God. You better not be looking past the Commanders for freaking Cleveland. There he is, Easton Butler, writer for Packer Report. Follow him on Twitter at Easton_Butler. You'll know him if you see him. He's got the backwards cap on. Easton, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Take care. There he is, Easton Butler, joining us on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all. Don't forget, if you miss anything, go back, listen to a podcast form, whether it be on the Odyssey app, iHeart app, TuneIn app, Spotify, wherever you listen to your favorite podcast at, you can find all of our shows here on the Fan there as well. Coming up next, we're going to talk some more about the Green Bay Packers coming up against the Commanders tomorrow night. Matt LaFleur talked a little bit. We can get to that. Plus, the Brewers game is getting close to being over. 1 on top of 9. Rangers on top of the Brewers 6-3. Remember I said earlier when Berger hit his first home run? I said, man, he kind of looks like Rowdy Tellez. Then Berger hit his second home run off of Peralta. Then Tellez came up there in the last half inning. Whew, Rowdy's bigger than him.
I don't know. I really thought
that was bigger than him.
I really thought, I was like, they actually do look a lot alike.
They do look a lot alike.
I couldn't like fully remember Rowdy's face and stuff, but like even their faces are really similar.
They do, yeah. Rowdy Tellez as a Berger.
Well, that's why I started smiling over here. I wasn't on the YouTube, so you couldn't see me, but I saw Tellez come on. I was like, oh, yeah, he does look like Jake Berger.
They do look like one another. That's absolutely right. Potawatomi Sportsbook, take those shuttles to and from the Brewers games at American Family Field. They start 1 hour before the game, go to 1 hour after the game. Now, having said that, all you have to do to get on those shuttles is same day game wager or make a purchase at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Potawatomi Sportsbook Kitchen, 48 beers on tap, dozen different specialty cocktails, all kinds of different food options, including all-day brunch, dessert and pastries made on-site every day at the Potawatomi Hotel Casino. Take advantage of it. Free parking, doesn't cost you anything. More information, go to Potawatomi.com/sportsbook. Potawatomi.com/sportsbook. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Live from the 1250 AM at 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Time now for your fan weather forecast, brought to you by Utke Heating and Cooling. 74 degrees, cloudy skies outside, still looking like a clear evening, which is a good thing, and a low of 58. Welcome back. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Steve Sparky, Fifer. Charlie using the other side of the glass. For me, the only thing better than eating Wendy's is earning more Wendy's while I eat. Hello, Wendy's Rewards. The entire menu is up for grabs, too. Whatever food you order directly through the Wendy's app, Wendy's website, or at a restaurant counts. For every $1 you spend, you earn 10 points. You can place your order for pickup or delivery with the Wendy's app or website. You're good. That's literally all you have to do. Mobile and website orders add reward points automatically. Done and done. It's the best and so easy, too. Don't forget, Green Bay, Washington play coming up tomorrow night at Lambeau. Immediately following that one, you'll make the switch right back here to the Fan for the Green Bay football postgame show with Tommy Wirtz and myself. We'll hear Ryan Wood on after every game on the postgame show. We'll get player reaction as well as coach reaction from Matt LaFleur. Take your calls, your tweets. You can chat with us in the Dugout Chat on YouTube. All you got to do is search The Fan Milwaukee on YouTube, and you can chat with each other. You can chat with us on the YouTube chat. We read some of those that come through on the YouTube chat, too. Q is one of the guys that used to call in all the time. Now he lives in the YouTube chat, messaging us all the time. In the Dugout
Yell
Chat.
at you a lot more freely in the YouTube chat. Yeah,
he can. Right. Yeah, he absolutely can. And that's fine. Everybody should have something to get worked up on. Listen, Easton Butler right there in that last segment from Packer Report, when I asked about, maybe wanting to go out there and get one more piece and so forth, maybe that cornerback position to try and make this a better situation, started laughing and said, well, I'm not going to give any names, but yeah, they're calling. I don't know what is given up here, right? So is Dobbs the piece that gets them a really good cornerback coming back the other way? Do they trade Dobbs to get a good corner? So they trade Dobbs in a contract year for a corner in a contract year to try and put themselves over the top here.
You could do that. You could also use the Christian Watson contract that you just gave him and say, you know what?
That'd be cold-blooded.
Another team really wants
Watson's
a wide receiver for one more year under
wow.
control.
Watson's dad would be so mad.
It's a cheaper deal. It could be really enticing to a team that may have a cornerback that, is still on make it or break it deal, is going to be a free agent. Or maybe you could get it for a player that's a little worse for also another year.
This is going to be fun. If they go get a good corner now to go with what they have in Micah Parsons, the league is going to lose their minds. Like, Green Bay's not messing around here. They're trying to win this damn thing. They're not trying to win the division. They're trying to win a Super Bowl. If the Packers go out now and add a cornerback between now and the NFL trade deadline, and the trade deadline's at the end of October, I want to say. So still plenty of time for them to make moves if that's what they want to do. Encouraging to hear from Easton Butler that they are still active, still trying to add to this roster right now. And you as a Bears fan have got to be depressed.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, the Bears, are still a young team, though. I'm still not fully out on them, even after that game Monday night where it was a little unfortunate the way it went down. But I'm not all giving up on that just because of what the Packers are doing.
Let's look. Start looking around. The Titans cornerbacks. They have a good corner that would work because you said yourself they're dropping balls left and right. So a Dobbs would make sense in Tennessee that they could extend and be that number one wide receiver, I guess, for Cam Ward in Tennessee. Who else would make sense? Cleveland might make sense. Miami, they might blow that thing up here by the time next year comes. If this is a bad season for them, they fire their GM and fire Greer, the general manager. If everybody gets fired there, they may be willing to trade cornerbacks here for potentially draft picks and do something.
Could see them doing it. I think a team like Seattle is going to be a team that needs depth behind a guy like Jackson Smith and Jigba. And they're a team that's still kind of looking to be a playoff type of roster. Pittsburgh's in that
has
same
wanted
boat.
Dobbs for a while now.
Exactly. These are teams that are on that cusp as well that should be looking for more wide receiver depth in their rooms. Honestly, the Minnesota Vikings could be a team that could come calling for Romeo Dobbs. They won't, but I think the Vikings would be dumb not to at least sniff around that themselves. I think there's lots of teams that are in this boat that could use a player like Dobbs, who maybe isn't the greatest piece out there, but has a potential somewhere, somehow.
He's a 2, right? Or is he a 3?
Best. I think he's a 2 at best.
Like in Philadelphia, he's definitely not a 2.
He's a 3, yeah.
He's a 3 in Philadelphia. But that's one of the more stacked wide receiver rooms in football with those two, with Brown and Devontae Smith there in Philadelphia.
But that's the thing. I think he doesn't really slide into any specific spot. I think he's just kind of a guy that you keep moving down as you get more guys in front of him. If you send him to Tampa Bay, let's say, he's a 4 in Tampa Bay when that wide receiver room is healthy.
When Godwin's back, and it's Godwin's, it's Mike Evans, and Ibuka, yeah, he's behind those three for sure.
I think when you talk about the teams that are realistic that would be looking to make a trade, the Titans, I think he's a 2 on the Titans. I think Calvin Ridley's the number 1 on that team. And I think it's just kind of wherever he fits in, that's where he fits in. But most squads, I think he's a 2 or 3 for sure.
Jackson Cheerio almost had a single, but a nice play made by Berger, of course, at first base to take a base hit away and a little flare towards right field. When Beck on made a nice catch. Brewers get swept in Texas 6-3. And we'll take your calls and tweets and all that fun stuff on the Brewers loss today to the Texas Rangers. Nikolai Law fan talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. Tweet us at The Fan Milwaukee, Facebook as well. YouTube is there. Search The Fan Milwaukee as we talk about a Brewers loss to the Texas Rangers. And it's too bad, too, because this game started off really, really well for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Just didn't go the Brewers' way. Did not feel like a game. They only scored 4 runs as Terang gets into one. Deep right center. Goodbye. That one's not going to find the glove. Bryce Terang starts this one with a bang. Booming home run to deep center field. And it's 1-0 Milwaukee.
The other part about this with the Brewers is this power stroke that Bryce Terang all of a sudden has. Do you know how much of a difference maker that is in a playoff game? You get a leadoff home run. Let's say they're on the road and a leadoff home run to silence the crowd. And he's been doing this relatively somewhat consistently at this point. The last guy I can remember the Brewers having, and I'm old, but the last guy I can remember the Brewers having that did this type of stuff is Paul Molitor. Like the igniter from back in the day. Again, the documentary, just a bit outside that he's featured in there too. But Molitor was the last guy that I can remember leading off games with home runs. Ricky Anderson led off games with home runs in his career. And the fact that Terang now has found that niche here in the last couple of months is really a difference maker for a team when you get into the postseason and how it can swing momentum early.
It really should. And especially if you get a normal game from Freddie Peralta that you've seen this season, where he has been able to dominate for 4 to 5 innings, you get that momentum from him and from Bryce Terang, and then everybody else halts on the other sideline or on the other dugout because Freddie Peralta pitches this well. I mean, that combination, again, is meant for the playoffs. Right now, it's not coming to fruition in the regular season, but when it is higher stakes, more energy, more adrenaline is put into these games, it will matter. I promise you.
I think it'll matter too. And the other part about this too is they had Frelick leading off at one point, remember? And Sal Frelick was doing a great job leading off. The power presence, though, at the top there wasn't there necessarily with Sal, even though he's at double-digit home runs. If I gave you one or the other and said, okay, here's the leadoff hitter for the next 10 years, Frelick, Terang, where are you going?
Terang. I like keeping Terang around, mostly because now I'm starting to think myself out of it. Because you have Jesus Made coming up. You have a Luis Pena coming up. To keep that Gold Glove style player out in the outfield is going to be pretty useful, especially since you have less players coming up that are in the outfield.
Yeah,
I really like Braylon Payne, but I don't know how quickly he's going to take over any kind of role. I think Sal Frelick is a guy that just kind of fits into the future plans a little bit better. But Bryce Terang, man, you can't ignore what he's been doing for the past 2 months.
The thing is, I don't know where he fits.
He just doesn't fit anywhere. That's the problem.
Long term, I don't know what position he plays or where he fits. Defensively, you figure out a way to keep him, right? If he's hitting, 285 and hitting 20 home runs a year, then you're going to figure out a place to play him. Made and Pena both have played shortstop. I believe they both played third. Made is playing second at Biloxi now, and last night was his first game. They're in the playoffs, by the way, right? So this isn't some crappy team Biloxi is playing. And he immediately hits a triple. And has another multi-hit game. I think him, Bryce Harper, and Tatis are the only 3 guys at the age of 18 in their debut to have a multi-hit game at the age of 18. Plus, that was in the postseason. I don't know about Harper and Tatis. I think that's a little something extra for Made. And again, he's playing a second. Why? Because they have Cooper Pratt at shortstop. And they have Brock Wilken at third base right now. That team is loaded. at Biloxi. So they don't need him to play shortstop or third, but he can play any of those positions kind of going forward. So that's something else to think of. Sorry. So there's Bryce Terang's leadoff home run. It's 1-0, highly courtesy of FanDuel Sports Network, Wisconsin. Then comes Jackson Churio, next batter in the first.
That's a bomb into left field. Churio gonna send one out of here. Back to back. Terang and Churio with a couple of howitzers. 2-0 Brew Crew.
I was very happy because I thought to myself, okay, they're not going to get swept. They're going to avoid being swept in Texas. They're up 2-0. You're feeling really good. The problem is Berger, the first baseman for the Rangers, hit 2 bombs off of Freddie Peralta in this one that got him to 5. The Brewers had opportunities to do stuff along the way. Rhys Hoskins, who was facing Merrill Kelly. Remember Merrill Kelly? He was with the D-backs for a while. He had never gotten a hit off of Merrill Kelly in his career. Then this happened.
He does, and he shoots one through for a base hit. In to score is Durbin. Boy, that's got to feel good for Rhys Hoskins. Green light, 3-0, pinch hit, RBI single.
Got a feeling there's going to be a lot of that in the playoffs where he's going to be pinch hitting and having to adjust to a new role, Charlie.
That's okay. I'm fine with that. I think it works. Again, by Jake Bauers. I'm sorry. I know he's been hot for these past couple of weeks.
Bauers was out there at first base.
He was out there at first base, but I think when it comes down to it, you're going to want Andrew Vaughn and Rhys Hoskins based on the whole sample size of the season. And I know Rhys Hoskins has been hurt and was struggling a little bit before that, but he brings that playoff mentality that you need in this lineup because nobody else in this lineup really has that right now. Christian Yelich has the most experience, and the farthest they went was the NLCS in 2018. That's the closest he's gotten. And with the rest of this team, you need somebody else who's been there and done that. And Rhys Hoskins is going to be really important to this Brewers in the playoffs.
Tommy brought it up before, and that's Bauers is probably their best defensive first baseman. So if Bauers is going to play at first base and Vaughn and Hoskins are going to DH, that means the other guy is going to be the pinch hitter. And I would assume what we're going to see here now from Pat Murphy is he's going to start to kind of play these games like he will in the postseason, right? Where maybe Vaughn is starting, Hoskins is the DH, Bauers is off the bench. Then maybe the next day Bauers is at first base, Vaughn is the DH, Hoskins off the bench. Then maybe the next day Hoskins is DHing and Vaughn has the pinch hit or Bauers has the pinch hit. And he's going to try and rotate them through so they all get a feel for what may happen in the postseason. Because I think legitimately, if you gave Pat Murphy, truth serum of like, how do you want this to play out? He would say he wants all 3 guys in every game possible.
Probably. But also, I can't fathom putting Christian Yelich out in the field at this point. With the most recent injury update, like he has to be at DH. And if he has to be at DH, then again, one of those guys just cannot play or cannot be on this roster, one or the other.
I disagree. I just think it's about offense in the playoffs. You have to have offense. You have to have power. And if
if it's about offense and it's about power, then Jake Bauers' defense doesn't matter.
Correct. Absolutely.
So that's just Jake Bauers is gone. It's the easy answer.
No, because he's the left-handed power bat that you have. That's why he's
Christian
still on
Yelich is a left-handed power bat.
Correct, but he's going to be in the outfield. He's starting. So Bauers, even if you don't play him in the field and you go, okay, he's going to be our power guy off the bench as a lefty, then that's what you do. I just think the outfield is Yelich, it's Churio, and it's Frelick. And I know Frelick doesn't have the power, but those 3 guys are the outfield. Perkins is that guy that comes in, pinch runs, replaces Yelich for defensive purposes or whatever. I don't see how Perkins starts. I don't. Now, Isaac Collins is the other piece in this, right? So you're sacrificing Isaac Collins playing if Yelich is in the field, unless Isaac Collins gets moved to the infield. And we have still, I believe, have not seen that in a game yet.
No, you haven't. I wouldn't risk it this late in the season to put him at third base. Again, that just doesn't make sense to me to take a guy out of his mojo. Like that's a huge change. This late in the season, you just can't go and do that out of nowhere. And I know they've practiced him a little bit. We've seen the videos of that. I don't think that's enough. And Isaac Collins throughout the majority of this season, yeah, I know Jake Bauers is this power lefty guy, but also Isaac Collins has been in the Rookie of the Year conversation the entire year. And just to kind of give up on him.
Third now?
Yeah. I think they have him at third right now because
right.
Drake Baldwin and other guys are ahead of him, Kate Horton, Chicago. Yep. But you just can't take that out for the situation. And we talk about it with Andrew Wagner, where you change the lineup all the time. That doesn't matter that much. If in my opinion, that doesn't matter. You don't need lefties versus righties. If a guy's hot, a guy's hot. And I know Jake Bauers is the hot bat right now, but I don't expect him to be the hot bat because Isaac Collins has been the hot bat the rest of the season.
We'll find out. Freddie Peralta, 30 consecutive scoreless inning streak over in the second when Jake Berger hit his first home run of the game, a solo shot off of Freddie Peralta. Berger then came back and hit his second home run off of Peralta there in the fifth. Freddie Peralta, 112 pitches in 5 innings. Goodness gracious, man. Like 112 innings, that's 9 innings, right? Or maybe you have a bad inning, that's 8 innings in 5 innings. That, again, we'll see. We'll see how this looks once we get to the postseason. But that's something that is going to be a topic of conversation. I promise you, this offseason, when the Milwaukee Brewers are discussing what they're doing with Freddie Peralta moving forward, because he's a cheap option next year at $8 million, right? So it makes sense to bring him back, put him in the rotation, go for it again. We talked about it earlier while the Brewers game was going on. If you're just making the switch to the fan now and checking us out after the Brewers lose to the Rangers 6-3 today, the idea of if they win a Super Bowl, it's probably easier to move off of Peralta and you will get a haul for somebody to rent Peralta for a year at $8 million. You're going to get a really good package. If you get to the NLCS and come short, then I don't think there's any chance they move Peralta, because now they want to come back, run it back, and have a chance to go to a World Series and have Peralta all year, have Woodruff possibly all year if they can extend him and keep moving forward. That's the other guy, Brandon Woodruff. What is going to happen there? Like, are they going to pay this dude? Who was it? Was it Kurt Hogue that kind of hinted at the idea of maybe they pay Brandon Woodruff in the offseason?
I think so. And I think Brandon Woodruff is a guy that you'd rather, again, these are hard decisions because him and Freddie Peralta are both so important to the clubhouse. Yeah, I think Brandon Woodruff, him coming back into this rotation really just lit a fire under the rest of the team. And Freddie Peralta, I know, gives energy to the squad and that he's having a phenomenal season, but it just didn't feel like the team was responding to him the same way they did when Brandon Woodruff got into this rotation. Now, at this point in the season, I guess I want to know, what do Brewers fans want with Freddie Peralta? I guess it's just, would they be happier if he was gone? Would they be happier if he was here? Because I think prior to the season, most of them, not most of them, but a big majority of the fan base would have been fine with Freddie Peralta being traded at the beginning of the season.
I think most Brewers fans, especially those that are Brewers fans / casual fans, whatever, look at his ERA, 30-inning scoreless streak, and are very, very happy with that. And absolutely, you bring this dude back at $8 million. No chance you don't. The people that are frustrated with him, I think, are the diehard core fans that are looking at him as a true number one and saying, dude, you've got to give me more than that if you're going to lead this rotation. But realistically, is he the best pitcher in this rotation right now? Is he the guy that if you said it's a playoff, right? It's a 1-game playoff to determine who goes to the playoffs and who doesn't. Brewers have been in this situation. 1-game playoff. You can pitch Woodruff. You can pitch Priester, Mizorowski, Peralta, Quintana. 1-game playoff. Who do you give the ball to?
Woodruff.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going. And I don't know how it'll work out. Maybe we would regret it. Maybe we're like, damn, we should have won with Freddie. Maybe that would have happened. But for me, Brandon Woodruff is my guy that I'm rolling with first. There's just no question. And I go back to what Vasgersian said at MLB Network. Vasgersian said his playoff rotation for the Brewers would be Woodruff 1, then Priester 2, and then the third guy would be Peralta. Let him pitch in the hostile environment on the road as the vet who's been in the postseason before. Let Woodruff pitch at home. Now, we had Andrew Wagner on yesterday, and he said, man, Freddie Peralta's killing it at American Family Field. You have to pitch him in game 1 or game 2 and make sure he pitches there. But I think the one thing we all agree on is I don't want Priester or Miz opening on the road in game 3, right? That's not where we want to put those guys. You'd want one of them to pitch in Milwaukee in game 2.
I think you want Jacob Mizorowski to pitch in Milwaukee in game 2.
If he starts.
Yeah.
There's a good chance he's in the bullpen.
I think Quinn Priester, you can be a little bit more comfortable just because, again, you've had the full sample size of this season. Right. And he's been probably the most consistent pitcher the Brewers have seen all year. And you got to give him that opportunity in that starting rotation to at least prove that he can do it in the playoffs as well. And I don't know if at this point in the season I trust Quintana to be that third guy. I don't know if I trust Jacob Mizorowski to be that third guy.
I don't see how Quintana's on the playoff roster.
Not anymore. Like,
I don't see it.
It kind of sucks because it felt like 3 weeks ago we were in on him being in that group to be that veteran and be around these other guys, but it just doesn't feel like he fits in anymore.
No, I don't see how it works. Going inside the box score here, Brewers lose 6-3. 2 hits today for Terang, including that leadoff home run that we played. 2 hits for Caleb Durbin. He was in need of a good game. 2 for 4 with a run score for him. Danny Jansen, 2 for 4. One of those was extremely lucky. Bounced off the side of the base and like shot up and like almost hit the second baseman in the shoulder. But either way, 2 hits for Danny Jansen. 11 hits total for the Brewers. 2 for 8 with runners in scoring position today for the Brewers. Both of those hits, Jansen and Hoskins, both 1 for 1 with runners in scoring position. Peralta, the loss, 16-6, 5 innings, 5 runs, 6 hits, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts, both homers to Jake Berger. His ERA now 2.69. 2 scoreless innings between Anderson and Zastrazzini. Eric Fetty comes in, pitches a scoreless inning as well. Well, actually not a scoreless inning. He gave up a run unearned. And a couple of walks by Eric Fetty. I don't understand the Eric Fetty thing. If we're being honest, I didn't understand the Eric Fetty thing when they signed him. I still don't understand the Eric Fetty thing. All I can come up with is this is just an arm to get them to the end of the line till DL Hull could come back and the rest of these guys. And they're just kind of going to use that arm as much as possible. And he's going to get paid and be on a team and have some fun.
He's a body, baby.
He's a body.
Let him go out there and just be a body.
He is definitely, yes, he is definitely a body. If you want to jump aboard, talk about this Brewers loss to the Rangers. They are swept by the Rangers. Now they come home Friday to take on the St. Louis Cardinals. They have 2 series with the Cardinals before this whole thing is said and done. So the first of those 2 series starts coming up on Friday night. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM 1057 FM The Fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky with you. Dial it up. Nicolay Law, Fan Talk, text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. Facebook and Twitter at The Fan Milwaukee. Welcome back. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy. See Sparky Fifer with you. Charlie Usen, other side of the glass. Thanks for tuning in here on a Wednesday. Tomorrow is Thursday. We're going to have JP Finley on, who works for our sister sports talk station out in D.C., also works for NBC Sports out there. He's in Green Bay covering the Commanders as they get ready to take on Green Bay tomorrow afternoon. He actually does afternoons out in D.C. So we'll talk with JP coming up tomorrow at 2:40. Looking forward to that. Tim Dillard normally joins us at 3:20, so hopefully we'll be able to get that done tomorrow at 3:20 as well. And it's going to be a Green and Gold Thursday, right? Getting you ready for Packers and Commanders coming up tomorrow night. After that one goes final, you make the switch to the Green Bay football post-game show right here on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan. You can stream us on your Odyssey app and listen to the show after the game's done, because it's going to be a late one, right? That game's going to be done like 10:30 or so. I know people have to go to bed and get up for work the next day. And you can watch us on YouTube. Tommy Wirtz and myself will be here doing our thing. Ryan Wood will join us after the game like he does for every post-game show this year. We'll get reaction from the locker room, reaction from Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love. And if you're like, Sparky, dog, I got to go to sleep, man. I got to get up at 5. I get it. Totally get it. The nice thing is, podcast-wise, we're everywhere you want to be, right? So you can go on YouTube, watch our show on YouTube, the next morning, Friday morning. You can go listen to all of our podcasts, wherever you download your favorite podcasts at, Odyssey, iHeart, Spotify, wherever the case may be, wherever you listen to your podcast at, we are there as well. All of the local shows here on The Fan, all in podcast form, which is nice. All right, things that we missed on today's show. If you're just tuning in, Brewers lose 6-3 to the Texas Rangers. A couple of home runs, the one you heard, Bryce Terang, there with a home run. Jackson Churio with a home run. They led off the game with back-to-back homers. Then Rhys Hoskins gets his first hit of his career off of Merrill Kelly today. So that was nice. That was an RBI base hit. That would be the only 3 runs the Brewers would score in a 6-3 loss. Brewers swept by the Rangers. Next up at home against the Cardinals coming up on Friday night. So we'll see how that one plays out. I saw some news come across earlier today in an email from the NBA about this in-season tournament that they play. They have decided to change an aspect of the tournament. The aspect of the tournament that they've decided to change, instead of playing the semifinals and the championship game on a neutral court, which was Vegas, they've decided that they're only going to play the championship game on a neutral court. I would like somebody to explain to me why this is a good idea. I'm willing to listen. I'm here for you. Explain to me why this is a smart idea by the NBA, because I don't think it is. But by all means, help me, Charlie.
I don't know. I think it sounds more fun this way.
I could have played the drop from yesterday from our offensive lineman, Darian Kennard, but I don't know. This is the thing. I'll tell you why this doesn't make any sense from the NBA perspective. I'll give you a positive first. Okay. So the positive is, if the Bucks are in the semifinals and if they're the better seed, if like say they're the 1 seed, then they get an extra game at Fifer Forum and we fill it up. And
that sounds
cool.
fun to me. That's
okay.
why are you mad about this?
I'm going to tell you why it doesn't make sense. I'm not mad about it. I'm just telling you why I don't think it makes much sense from the aspect of the NBA. If I'm the neutral site, why would I buy tickets to go to the neutral site, airfare and everything else, and then not know if they're going to be there one way or the other? At least if the semifinals are there and the finals are there and it's Vegas, well, I'm going. Even if they lose, I know I'm at least going to have fun in Vegas for a couple of days. If they win, I know I'm going to see 2 games out in Vegas. What happens if the neutral site is Indianapolis? What happens if the neutral site is, I don't know, Denver, whatever? What happens then at that point? Because I'm not buying tickets, with all due respect to those other 2 cities, to go flying into cold weather in Denver, or to go down to Indy, which is like one of my favorite towns. I love Indianapolis. Or drive all the way down there. I'm like, that much notice? Because how much of a break is there going to be? Now, that's the other thing. Maybe they're going to change it so the semifinals are separated by like 3 weeks to the finals. So where now people have 3 weeks to plan out if they're going to go there. They know the 2 teams are going to be in it. It gives the fan base enough time to book tickets, book hotels, and get there, where before, you didn't nearly have as much time.
Well, unless the neutral site is just as close between the 2 teams as possible, which is like if it was Milwaukee and Indiana for some reason, which it can't be just because they're in the same, but like have it in Chicago then. Like, it would just be as simple as that.
Correct.
Or Milwaukee and Oklahoma City again, like it was last year. Again, then you could probably just have it in Indiana. I think people would be okay with that because you could get enough of the two fan bases to be able to go and into those two places. If it's, let's say, Boston versus the Lakers, it doesn't make sense to just put it into Denver randomly. I feel like you'd want somewhere more central to those two teams, and there would be a better decision going into this than just put it in a random NBA city or just a random city in the country. I feel like there'd be a plan. Now, at the same time, that's asking the NBA to have a plan for something like this, which I don't really think they have that much of a goal other than to make more money by just putting this into the places where they feel like they can get the most fan bases in the door.
I think the owners are the ones that pushed for this from Silver of, hey, we want an additional home game if we get that far. Why are you taking gate money from us and concession stand money and everything else by taking that game away? And the lower seed gets the benefit of being on a neutral court, right? The higher seed should have the home court advantage as long as humanly possible, like they do in every other aspect of the playoffs or the NBA finals. Do you think we ever see the NBA finals in a neutral court setting?
Yes. I think if they feel like, again, they're making enough money, you can do that. You can be like the NFL and just go put it into one place and hope. No,
but the difference is that's one game. This is 7 games, possibly. So it's a little bit different here.
NCAA tournament does it. I feel like the NBA thinks that they could probably do that too if college sports can do that.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that does make sense. Let's talk about Prize Picks. That makes sense too. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code Sparky to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code Sparky, SPARKY, to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Let's talk about what's going on. They have these things called max discounts right now. And coming up on the 14th, Travis Kelce, a half a receiving yard, more than a half a receiving yard. Now, can we be honest about something? When it's a receiver or a tight end on a receiving yard, that max discount still looks good, but it looks better when it's a quarterback for a half of passing yard. But I think I would still go Travis Kelce more than a half a receiving yard at this point.
Travis Kelce is one of those guys that I'm pretty sure he's going to have more than half a receiving yard. If it was somebody else, maybe like A.J. Brown, I don't know.
Especially after week freaking 1. I would have thought A.J. Brown was a lock for something like that at the end of the day.
You would think, but I guess that Philadelphia offense has other plans.
Yeah, obviously. And that those plans need to be changed if they're going to have any hope of going farther this year. You can't expect to win week to week without having A.J. Brown as major part of the game plan kind of going forward. So make sure to take advantage of their max discounts. Prize Picks is simple. It's daily fantasy, right? 2 to 6 player stat projections. All you're doing is more or less. It could be football, which is going on right now, right? Pro and college football. Baseball is still going on as well. And there's all kinds of different stat categories. So if you think daily fantasy is, will they score a touchdown or not? No. There's all kinds of different combinations of stat categories. They take stat categories, they put them together. Now you can stack players. Like I stacked Caleb Williams this last week on Monday night and put him with 2 stat categories and then put 2 other players with Caleb stacked. I was stupid, didn't play the flex play, which if I would have played the flex play, I would have won. I didn't, and I lost. The flex play is something else where you don't even have to get the entire lineup right, and you can still win. Now you have to click the box, flex play, in order to do it, and it'll tell you what the payouts are if you hit the flex play. So I'm telling you, take advantage of it right now. Download the Prize Picks app right now. Use the promo code Sparky to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code Sparky to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details. Only got a couple of minutes left here. And I'm kind of curious from our guy Charlie Usen. No Brewers baseball tonight. No football tonight. It's Wednesday. What then occurs in the Charlie Usen household, or are you working?
I am not working tonight.
Okay.
I'm going to attempt to make pork chops. I've become the pork chop guy in our apartment.
We had pork chops 2 nights ago out of the crock pot.
I'm not doing it in
mushroom soup over pork chops all day.
That sounds okay. I'm not a big mushroom
easy.
guy. I've been trying to get into mushrooms a little bit more, but I'm still not there yet. I think I'm going to do Italian seasoned pork chops is my plan. So I'm going to try to crust them a little bit with some breadcrumbs and everything. I think it's going to be pretty good. I got a good plan.
Very fancy. We're doing pork tenderloin tonight. So that is what we're doing. That's just go in the oven. That's pretty simple. Anybody can do that. So we're doing that tonight. That is our dinner plans for tonight. And continuing watching our Christmas movie that we started last night, night 2 of Christmas movie. This is night 4 or 5 in a row of Christmas movies.
I was forced to watch a rom-com last night because I made her watch the Bears-Vikings game on Monday.
Yes. And these Christmas movies, that's what they are. The romantic comedies for the most part, right? That's what it is. They're so much fun. I enjoy them. And the kids like them too, which is cool. That'll do it. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM 1057 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. JR Sport Brief is coming up. And then don't forget, I'm listening tonight, starting at 6 o'clock. Just again, remember, today is National Suicide Prevention Day. So check out I'm Listening from 6 to 7, an Odyssey special. Enjoy your night. Toodles.